Welcome, Streams in the Desert readers. Today we are going to be reading Sai and Medusa. Sai trudged down the hall of his new floor of his new school, his one large eye staring at the floor. Giant centaurs and flying horses passed him, but Sai was the only creature with a single eye. I'm never going to fit here, Sai mumbled under his breath. Whack! Sai, whack! Sai bumped into Mark, the largest Montezor in the school. Watch where you go in one eye, Mark said. Sorry, I didn't see you, Sai said. Can't you see with one eye? Mark said. As if a cue on Sai spotted Medusa heading toward him. That gave him an idea. He'd been at school long enough to know her about her powers. I actually see something there really cool over there, Sai said. What do you mean? Mark said as he turned to look. He peered down the hall. He made eye contact with Medusa and instantly turned to stone. Then, without thinking, Ty met Medusa's yellow eyes. His skin tingled and looked down on his dismay to his surprise. However, he was still just Sai. Medusa turned someone to stone again. A student groaned. Let's drag him back to the nurse's office. A group gathered around and began to haul Mark off. Medusa, humiliated, burst into tears and ran away. Sai raced after Medusa as he looked directly at her and hasn't turned to stone. Outside, Sai found Medusa sitting at a picnic table with her face buried in her hands. Can I talk to you, Sai asked. Medusa turned her head from Sai. Go away, sure. If you don't want to be sure, turn to statue, she murmured. You looked at me in the eye and I'm fine, Sai said. That's not possible. Just ask the nurse. She has to turn 14 kids back to normal this year. Trust me, Sai said. Maybe it's because I only have one eye. I can't be turned to stone. Medusa slowly lowered her hands and picked up in one eye. Her face lit up. It's a miracle. You don't know what it is to not be able to look at anybody, she said. I don't look at people anyway, Sai said. The kids stare at me. The kids all stare at me and Mark and the Montezors already call me one eye. Imagine having a head full of snakes, Medusa said. Every day is a bad hair day for me, I guess, Sai said, then paused for a moment. The truth is, I don't see well and I'm too embarrassed to wear my monocle. It's bad enough to only have one eye. Sai pulled out a round glass to see a long gold chain off his pocket. How silly is this? Medusa giggled and saw Sai peering through his monocle. When I wear this thing, it makes me stand out even more, Sai said. Can I see that for a second, Medusa said. Sure, Sai had said as he handed over to the monocle. I won't be using it anyway. The school bell rang, and Medusa patted on Sai's shoulder. I like your one eye, Medusa said. We need to get our 3 eyes over to shop class before we're late. Sai said. Hey, shop class, he said. That gives me an idea. For the next 2 weeks in shop class, Sai and Medusa sat at a back table together. Sai took measurements of Medusa's head. He used all the shop tools to build a visor that will help keep her from turning people to stone. Finally, Sai polished and gave the completed visor and handed it to Medusa. Try it out, he said. Medusa slipped the visor inside a system of mirrors, allowing her to look at people without making direct eye contact with somebody. Medusa cautiously approached the table next to them. The students peeked up at her and no one turned to stone. This is amazing, Medusa yelled. She walked around the room staring at each student's face. You did, Sai, Medusa said with a beaming smile. She rushed back to her workstation and pulled I's monocle from a drawer. I hope you don't mind, but I've been working on your monocle. It sort of looks cool. It sort of looks like a cool goggle now. He handed it to Stella in the had Medusa had wrapped the monocle with a wire and attached the leather strap engraved with lightning bolts. Wow, I said, slipping it over his head. Thanks. Now this I'd actually like to wear. No problem, Medusa said. Thank you for helping me out. The bell rang and Medusa and Sai headed out with their special new eyewear for the first time. Neither of them stared at the ground.
Good job.
Thank you for reading with me. If you want to share, please do. Bye.